I'm just getting so excited. I cannot believe it's finally here. In just over 24 hours, we're going to be taking off for our week-long cruise to Alaska. But we have a lot to get done before we're ready to leave, so today I want to take you along as I pack and get ready for the trip. Along the way, I want to share with you some of my favorite packing hacks, how I'm packing minimally. I'm literally trying to do this entire cruise only in a carry-on. I think this might be my biggest packing challenge yet. And then also I want to share with you just some of the things that I like to do to make the overall travel experience a lot more enjoyable and easier. We are going to come to this mess in a bit and finish packing. But first, I have a few errands I need to run. Okay, I'm just going to remove my nail polish as we chat. Right now, I am getting ready to head out the door because one of the things that I like to do when I'm getting ready to leave on a longer trip, I'd say typically anytime I'm going on a trip that's a week long or more, I'm going to be gone for almost 2 weeks on this trip. It's a week-long cruise to Alaska, but we are spending a few days with family in Canada beforehand. So one of the things that I like to do is just to schedule any appointments for things that I probably wouldn't be able to, get done while I am away. So the two things that I want to do today are, number one, I have a nail appointment to get my nails done at, I think it's 10:30, so probably need to leave in like 10 minutes here. Then for my brows right now, they're just getting a little bit crazy, so I figured we could get them done, give them some love. Okay, last nail, and then after appointments, I also want to run a couple of errands. I want to pick up some snacks for the trip, and also maybe an eye mask to do on the plane. Okay, time for our first stop, getting our nails done. I think we're going with this one. So I just got out of my nail appointment. My nail tech did such a fantastic job. I went to the Freecoat at Myers Park, which is a local non-toxic nail salon. Love the color I picked too. It's like a beautiful kind of off-white light cream color. Figured a good neutral would be honestly just ideal for this trip. Right now I'm going to get my eyebrows done. Probably going to get them threaded. I really just want to clean up the shape of them a bit, make sure that they look good for the cruise. Well, that's my eyebrows sorted and they really do just look so much better. So right now we're ready to run some errands. There are just 2 places that I want to go. First, I need to go to Bigg's camera to pick up a couple rolls of film for the trip. I want to take some nice film photos of the cruise. And then I also want to go to Target and I just want to pick up a few snacks from the plane tomorrow. And then also probably an eye mask to do while we're flying. Hey. Good. I need to buy just a couple of film. Okay, so I just got home. Let me do a little haul for you all of what I got while I was out. First thing I got was 4 rolls of film. 3 of these are actually going to be for my sister. And then one of these is for me. I got the Ektar 100 color negative film. I was talking to one of the guys at the camera store and he said that this is going to be a really good one for taking pictures of landscapes. I was hoping to take some beautiful film photos of the Alaskan scenery, so excited about that. And while I was at Target, I picked up a whole bunch of snacks. They got these Bear cinnamon apple chips. Love these so much. Figured they'd be great for just munching on during the flight. It's kind of the hard thing about flying. We're flying into Vancouver. I don't know if I mentioned that already. That's the hard thing about flying across the country is, like, technically we're going to be spending as much time in the air as if we were flying to Europe from the East Coast, but they don't serve you food because it's like broken up over several smaller flights. So try to just pick up a couple of food items. I'm sure we'll eat at the airport too. I also got a little chomp stick here. These are really good. We got some spearmint gum. It's my favorite. I feel like that always just helps a little bit with just adjusting to the air pressure, having gum while you're taking off and landing. Then I got a couple of Airheads because I figured I needed just a fun little snack, you know, a little treat for the plane. Okay, then for the cruise itself, I picked up these comforting acupressure bands. I don't really get seasick, but Christopher does, so I picked these up for him. Hopefully they can help. Then last thing, I just got 2 of these renewing eye gel masks. Figure we'll probably do them on our last flight of the day. Just got one for me and one for Christopher. Okay, but now let's finish packing. I've already started laying things out. I want to finalize what I'm going to bring, make sure that it's ready to go. The first thing that I want to do is to plan out some outfits, or at least some outfit options for what I'm going to wear on the cruise. I think especially if you're trying to pack more minimally, planning out your outfits ahead of time, or at least giving yourself options of what you can wear, is just so helpful. It helps make sure that you're not just bringing way more than you actually need, and it helps ensure that the things that you are bringing, you're actually going to use. So what I like to do is to create kind of a mini capsule when I travel of just different items of clothing that can mix and match really well with each other. My process for how I like to do this is typically I'll just begin with looking up the weather in the various destinations I'm going to be going. So next week, Juneau looks like it's somewhere between 50 and 60. Skagway, this is another spot that we're stopping. Again, 50 and 60. Ketchikan, oh, I love the fact that there isn't a ton of rain on the schedule. That's amazing. I've heard Alaska can be super rainy. 50 and 70 looks like. Then Glacier Bay, oop, didn't mean to do that. 40 and 50. Okay, and then we have a few days in Vancouver too, and it's looking like somewhere between the 50s and 70s. So obviously fingers crossed that nothing changes with that forecast, but that weather looks glorious. I think it's supposed to be between 90 and 100 degrees every day that we're going to be gone here in Charlotte, so I will absolutely take some beautiful, cool weather. Okay, but now I want to make some final decisions about the clothing items that I'm going to bring. I want to take some pictures of my various outfit options. So at this point, I think I have a pretty good idea of what I want to wear. I've just put together a little album with all of the different outfit combinations that I came up with. The big thing that I was trying to do was to make sure that I would have clothing for each of the 7 nights of the cruise, because you are supposed to dress up a little bit more for that. Figured with the athletic wear, things like that, I'm pretty much set. Don't need to take pictures of that. But for dressing up, that's another story. In the t-shirt department though, I did decide to swap this one out for something that's just a bit more casual. I think I'm either going to opt for this one or this one. I like both because you can still dress both up, but I feel like you can just also be more casual with them, where this one is just a lot more structured. So I think we're ready to start putting everything in the suitcase at this point, which is so great. I'm not exaggerating at all when I say this has been the hardest trip I have ever packed for in a carry-on. Like literally packing for a month in Europe was easier than this. It's just really difficult because we have days in Vancouver where it's going to be between 70 and 80 degrees, days in Glacier Bay where it's going to be like the 40s and 50s, and then on top of that we have such a combination of activities, from touring different places to doing a lot of like athletic and very adventurous things. We're going kayaking, we're going hiking, and then also there's the evenings at the cruise where you're supposed to dress up. We have a couple formal nights, so literally we are running the whole gamut of packing for 4 seasons, every kind of possible event, doing it all on a carry-on, and also without having access to do laundry once we get on the cruise. So it has been a challenge to say the least. I think we're in a good spot though. I'm not going to run through everything that I'm packing in this video, but I think the next one is going to be a pack with me video. I'll walk through everything that I'm bringing. So if you want to see what I'm packing, be sure to check that out. Now let's get everything into the suitcase. Okay, so now comes the fun part. Not sure if you noticed, but my 3 big sweaters still aren't packed. So What we're going to be doing for this trip, because sweaters can just take up a ton of room in your bags, we're going to be using a compression bag. So I got a few of these bags from Target specifically for this trip. I think I'm only going to end up using one, but I think Christopher will use one, if not two of them. But essentially what you do is you put all of your bulkier items into these bags, especially things like this jacket that just, there's a lot of air that's going to get trapped if you try packing it. So what you do is you put them all in this bag, then you squeeze all of the air out. I think usually you just sit on it. It's probably what I'm gonna do. Then you seal it up, and it's just an easy way of removing all of the excess air from the bag. Makes it so that those bulky items are as compact as possible. So let's do this together now. I've got 3 sweaters. I'm gonna try putting all of them in here. Okay, now we sit on it and try to squeeze all the air out. So I'm sure that looked just absolutely ridiculous, but it worked. It's all compressed now, and I would say all 3 of those sweaters are now about the bulk of just that one, so pretty impressive. To pack this, what we're going to do is obviously zip this side up, and then I haven't packed this side as full as normal, so it actually smushes down pretty well. We're just going to lay it right here, and then everything should zip up just like normal. All right, but now let's go ahead and pack up my personal size item. I did opt for the larger of my 2 backpacks for this trip. This backpack does still fit the personal size dimensions for the airline that I'm flying, but it does have a little bit more space, which I think is just going to be helpful to make it so that it doesn't feel like everything is crammed tight. There's just a little bit more breathing room that we have to work with. So let's see what all needs to go in here. Got a couple of things already. If you've watched one of my personal item only packing videos before, probably already know why I love this bag, but the big thing is just that it has so many different compartments, really space for everything that you need. So like right here, we have a completely waterproof compartment, which is where I like to keep my liquids. And then there's a massive space right here. I love that it opens like a suitcase, just so convenient. Already filled up a lot of the pockets, so I think it's really this main space that we need to fill up now. Let's see here. Okay, little packing trick here that I love is talking about how we have both formal nights and adventure days on our cruise, and I want to be prepared for both. So for the formal nights, I've got my little Kate Spade bag set up here, which if you want to see what I normally keep inside it, I actually just shared a video on that, so I'll try to link it somewhere up there. But for the casual days, the exploring days, I want to have my fanny pack. So what I'm going to do is just wrap it kind of around itself. Then we're going to stick it in the bag to just really maximize space. Put that in, and it should button up. Now we've got 2 bags in one. So now let's pack the rest of this stuff up. So I think we're pretty good on packing at this point. Next, I want to make sure that I give all my plants a good watering before I leave. Unfortunately, I do have someone coming to water my plants while I'm away, but they don't come until I think it's next Friday. So that's an entire week away. I want to make sure that all of my plants have enough water to get by till then. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna water all the indoor plants today. I'll do the outdoor ones tomorrow. So now last couple of things that I want to get done tonight. I'm just in the process of clearing my SD cards, making sure that we have plenty of room to take lots and lots of pictures while we're gone. I also want to charge everything, make sure everything has a full battery before we leave. And then I also need to check in online. So plug in camera battery 1, camera battery 2, and my laptop. So now let's see if we can check in online. This will just take a second. Check in. I think this is the first time I've ever checked in for a flight where I say I'm a United States citizen. That's exciting. I need my passport number. Okay, I think we're good to go. Well, today is our travel day. We leave for the airport in just a couple hours, just changed into my travel day outfit. Before we leave, there are a few last minute things that I want to get done. The first thing is setting up the watering system for my outdoor plants while we're away. Let me show you what I'm gonna try and do. So I ordered these, they're called plant watering spikes on Amazon. And essentially the way that they work, let me get them open. There we go. So the way that they work, you put a bottle with water. I think you can use a water bottle, a wine bottle, anything like that. You put a bottle full of water upside down and then you dig these down into the plant that you're trying to water. Essentially what this does is terracotta's porous, so it's going to slowly release water over the course of a few days, helping to water your plant kind of over the course of time rather than giving them like a massive drink all at once. So I think what I'm gonna do is I've got 6 of the stakes here. I'm gonna use those for all of my larger plants that I have outdoors. And for the smaller plants, I think I'm gonna try bringing them inside. That way they'll need to be watered less and hopefully they'll all stay alive that way. So like all of these guys will bring inside, but then this one and this one will leave out. Then I have a few out front too. So those are all the smaller outdoor plants, and boy, when you put them all together, there sure are a lot of them. I just watered them all thoroughly, tried to put them in this nice sunny window, and then I did put out a few of these little sticky traps just in case there are any gnats that come in with them. I want to catch them as soon as possible. So hopefully these guys will stay alive. So here's the current setup. We've just got the wand bottles hidden behind each of the plants. Hopefully those will all release water slowly over the next few days. So feeling a lot better about the state of all of our plants. Next what I want to do is to go in with this Kiwi Protect All waterproofer. I want to spray this on all of our running shoes and my hiking boots. Even though it isn't scheduled to rain a ton while we'll be in Alaska, it is probably gonna rain a couple days, so I don't think that this will hurt. Looks like this is all drying pretty quickly. I'm gonna leave these out here for a few minutes just to be safe. So at this point, we're basically ready. I think we're probably going to head to the airport in about 30 minutes or so. I do want to get there a little bit early because I've heard that the TSA line at the Charlotte airport is under construction and it can take a while to go through security. So I do want to get there a bit early. But yeah, the last thing that I'm doing here is just basically downloading anything that I want to listen to on the plane. So downloaded a couple albums from Spotify, a couple YouTube videos, some Netflix shows, and then I'm also trying to drink a lot of water because I get dehydrated really easily on planes. So I'm trying to kind of hydrate in advance, drink an entire one of this thing. That's a weird noise. Love it. So time to head to the airport. Just put my hair up, got my full travel outfit on, the hiking boots, carrying my jacket, and then got my little personal item and my carry-on suitcase. We're ready to go. So after a surprisingly fast TSA line, we had a couple of hours to kill before our flight. So we paid a visit to the lounge, which we get access to through our credit card, and enjoyed some delicious food and great views before boarding our first flight. So we just boarded flight 1 of 3 today. This is a really short one, just 40 minutes to Atlanta.
You were wearing a mask or?
Flight 1 was over in the blink of an eye. We didn't have a long layover in Atlanta, but I did have time to grab a book that sounded interesting. I spent several hours reading it on the next flight. Then after our flight to Calgary, we had just one more short one to Vancouver late in the evening. We landed safely in Vancouver just before midnight. So I hope you enjoyed this little glimpse into my travel routine. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already to catch all our Alaskan adventures. I'll see you in the next one. Bye and happy travels.